Well, I'm going to be a renegade with a theme. I'm reverting to the original meaning of X-Files. I have a story that has love in it, but it has a supernatural element. Back in the 70s, I took a couple of mime workshops, and I wanted to test my chops out on the street, and I determined that I would go to Chestnut between 19th and 20th. To prepare myself, I of course had to put on the white face, and I was really scared. I was really frightened of this upcoming experience, because when you're on the street, you know, that's anybody's territory. In a theater, you more or less have permission to perform, but on the street, you know, anybody can come along. So I put the white face on really thick. It was kind of a psychological barrier. It was almost bulletproof. And I made my signs, you know, for the pieces like Marceau does. And my true love came with me. And she was going to back me up and support me in this terror-filled sortie that I was going out on. So I put out a hat, and I started my mime pieces. There's this drunk that appeared. He looked at me across the street. He navigated himself. Came up to me and he said, "I wouldn't give you a dime for that shit." And my true love threw a quarter in the hat. She's here with me tonight, ladies and gentlemen, my Valentine's Day. Many years later, my brother and I got an opportunity to perform a program in Willow Tree Camp. It's a camp way up north in Pennsylvania, and it was before the season, so it was really cold. And they had a bunch of kids come up from the city, kids at risk, and these performers were going to perform for them and encourage them. So we met a sax player there. His name was Roger Bryson, and he was saying to us, "You know, I have played at some of the biggest venues on the East Coast, and I've played the backup for Chubby Checker and B.B. King. I played at Carnegie Hall in the Spectrum, but I'm nervous as shit today because my hands are shaking and they're all perspiring, and because it's my show. It's my show. I'm not backing up anybody. I'm responsible for the show, and these kids today, they deserve the best I can give them. If I don't do a good job for these kids, I'll feel terrible. And it's my first shot at this. And it's my show. And I'm scared to death." At that point, I went off to warm up for our show, but my brother, who is a really good listener, stayed back to hear what Roger had to say. I was doing my various isometrics. So David was listening to Roger, and he says, "Well, what did you guys do? You know, back in '79 when you first got started. I mean, what did you do to, you know, calm yourself down and get so nervous?" And the bell doesn't help with nerves. And David told him about the white face I put on in my first mime performances on the street. He said, it was almost bulletproof, but as the time went by, he used less and less of it until he doesn't use it anymore at all. And so Roger went on, and we watched him, and he saw us perform. 2 weeks later, we got a letter from him, and it said, "Guys, since I've seen your work, I think I can confide in you that you were part of a miracle. I had a dream the night before I met you, the night before I went on. It was terrorizing. I was blinded by white paint. white paint had been blown into my face and I couldn't find my way. And when I heard that story that you told, Dave, about Bill putting on his white face, it was as if Dave put his hand on my shoulder and said, keep doing what you're doing, Roger. You love it. And just show the audience who you are authentically, and that fear will go away. Your white paint is your fear, and it will go away and thin over time.
Aww.